Justin here again for Mystery Tackle Box. Today we're looking at wacky rigging basics. What is wacky rigging and why is it good? And what do you need to fish the wacky rig? The wacky rig is an essential bait in your toolbox. It works all year round and it's usually the best when fishing conditions are tough. Now, instead of your typical Texas rigging, weightless Texas rigging style, you take your worm and you rig it in the middle. So if you hold a worm in your forefinger and your thumb in the middle and you shake it back and forth, that action right there is totally different than if you hold it at the front of the bait and you're moving it around. And in the water, that looks like a caterpillar dying, or a worm. If you've ever seen a worm or something fall in the water, that's what it looks like as it goes down. It has a natural shimmy, shake, fall. Fish can't resist it if it's falling right in front of their face. It's a slow technique, but it works all year round. Wacky rigging is one of the most simple ways to fish. Simple is always good, right? All you need is a worm. Most people use a Senko style bait. This is just a 5-inch Senko right here. And then a hook, an open hook. You're not Texas rigging this. There's no technical, rigging the worm. All you got to do is just stick it right in the middle. How easy is that? And when you're working the wacky rig, a lot of the bites just come on the fall, on that slow sink. So you want to make sure you're watching your line always. Throw to objects that this thing will sink down, grass lines, trees, docks. You could really fish them anywhere, even open water for schooling fish, but it's that falling action that really gets the fish going. So don't get in a hurry to work this thing and really twitch it in the water. It does a lot of the work just by itself while it's falling. There's two style hooks you can really go with when you're fishing the wacky rig worm. You can go with a weeded guard hook like I'm fishing here. If you're fishing lakes that have a lot of cover in it, grass, trees, things like that, especially small branches, you'll usually get hung up with the wacky rig with that exposed hook. But if you have one that has a weed guard on it like this, you can work it through that cover a lot easier and not get hung up as much. If you're fishing really open water, not a lot of cover around, it's better to go with that just totally exposed hook because you get better hookups that way. There's also a couple ways you can go in the worm with the hook. You can go with the traditional way, going in just right in the middle, coming up through the top of the worm like that. That's the most common way. Probably gets the best hookups, but if you're fishing around a lot of cover and you want to really work it through some trees or some branches, you're fishing really shallow, I like to rig it going up through long ways through the worm, just like that. And that also creates a little bit different fall. It creates more of a spiral fall as it's wiggling down through the water column. There's also two ways you can add weight to your wacky rig for better casting distance and a little bit faster fall rate. If you're fishing really warm water, the fish are more adjusted to faster moving bait, you can get away with that faster fall rate. Or if you're fishing just deeper water, you want to get it down there a little bit deeper. There's ring weights that you can get that add weight to it, and you can slide those on. What that also does, when you rig the hook through that weight, it helps make the plastic last longer. Now, no one likes spending a lot of money on a pack of weightless worms and then going through them just like that. So this will help you get more life out of your plastic worms. The second way you can weight your wacky rig is with actual nail weights and go inside of the worm. So instead of Texas rigging, this adds a very concealed weight. This is a little nail weight right here. You can slide that into the nose of the worm, and that's going to create a different fall action. It's really going to create that kind of spiral, more erratic nosedive action. And then you go in long ways through the worm, just like that. So when you go long ways through the worm, add the nail weight, adds a different spiral effect, and it's a different look than that traditional wacky rig straight down shaking motion. Bait casters with fluorocarbon is really common for fishing those wacky rigs. You want a fluorocarbon just because it sinks, so it adds to the sink of that lure. And if you're fishing around cover and things like that, you may need a little bit more backbone in your setup. And especially if you're fishing on some lakes that have some real big bass, you want to bump up your line size to about 15, 16 pound test fluorocarbon. Now, if you're fishing lakes that have really clear water, you can get away with lighter line and a lighter rod. You can go with spinning tackle, and you can go down to 6, 8 pound test. That's when it's really important to have that totally exposed hook, so you get that really easy hook set if you're fishing a softer rod. But if you're fishing around bigger bass, bump up your rod a little bit, go to a medium heavy rather than a medium power rod, and you'll get good hookups, and that'll support that bigger line size. The most important thing about wacky rigging is patience. You got to let that worm do the work for you. It's really great on calm days. We got a very sunny, hot, calm day right here, so this is a great day for wacky rigging. It's excellent in the springtime when fish are moving up in the shallows and they're a little lethargic, but it's good all times of the year. There's not a bass out there that can really resist a wacky rig if you put it right in front of their nose. So if you haven't tried wacky rigging, you gotta do it. It's just a fish catching technique. And if you've kind of forgotten the wacky rig because it's an old technique, break it on back out when the fishing's tough. It catches them almost like a drop shot and a shaky head under those really tough conditions. So don't forget about the wacky rig. Hey, do you like mysteries? Do you like boxes? Do you like tackle? Well, you've come to the right spot. Hope you learned something on this tip and trick video, and if you'd like to see more, you can go ahead and subscribe right here to the Mystery Tackle Box YouTube channel. And if you want to, you can get boxes sent to you every month for as low as $15 a month. Go ahead and hit us on the like situation down there as well.